That's not quite possible. Unless you have like a real life paradox, but no.
Because, these we're going by Madden 20 official esports rules. So that is within the Madden esports rules that they're allowed to play the same team. And on one hand, I was kind of thinking, is that kind of fair, right? Because part of playing, American football in a team is that, maybe your team isn't as strong as your opponent, so you are somewhat the underdog. But I think it makes sense because it's going to come down to if two players are playing the same team, it's going to come down to just them, their reflexes, their ability to get those yards, and of course, get those golden touchdowns.
Exactly, and then when you have the same team, it's all about the skill. Which player is going to be better than the other? And also, this is going to be the very first match to kick off this entire NFL flag tournament. So definitely, I can't wait to jump straight into the action. And I hope you people at home also having a fun time. You know what? This is the cool part of esports. I do have to say, it's cool to still have real life American football. With all of these great tournaments. But at the same time, we're here. You're just chilling at home, drinking whatever the hell you want, chilling however you want, and also enjoying some really good content. Exactly, popcorn, a drink, and get yourself nice and comfy in bed, like I was today until 2 p.m. What? Okay, with that.
Now, look, here's the thing, right? We come from an esports background. We've casted multiple tournaments, multiple events, multiple games in the esports realm. And we'll be the first to admit we aren't heavily experienced when it comes to American football. But I think that's absolutely great because one, we're obviously going to completely learn as we go, and two, we're going to be able to bring that esports aspect, that competitive gaming aspect that we know from casting tournaments and talking to competitive esports players. Because some people kind of look at, as you mentioned, they look at esports and look at gaming and go, is this something to be taken seriously? Hell yeah, the amount of time and effort and practice when it comes to competitive gaming that players put in. And I'd like to think that as we get through the 3 days, the players that are playing that might not be as good at Madden 20 will understand that it takes a lot of practice, and you definitely got to be quick on your heels when it comes to heated development.
Exactly, and also I think that one thing that I'm going to mention real quick, I think that most people might understand this, but you never know, is the fact that this is not a team game, this is actually just a 1v1, one player versus another, so it's definitely not going to be like a team mentality game. This is actually just one player's mentality, and it's going to be really hard to get into this with thinking that. We might say them sometimes because still the game looks so realistic right now. We're it's 2020, look at the graphics, they look freaking awesome, it looks like real life, but sometimes we might call them sometimes, but it's just a 1 versus 1, and the pure mentality strength that you need to go into these games in a tournament as big as the NFL flag event is going to be a lot. So definitely mental strength is strong, and the player that will have the better mentality going into this will potentially go really high up in the overall rankings.
And much like American football, where you do have, let's say, home and away teams, one element that we do have to consider is that some of the players can heavily be surrounded by, let's say, family, right? So if they're playing in that game, end of the quarter, end of the half, so to speak, you have that tiny bit of a break, and that motivation from your family behind you, sitting on the couch beside you, can actually help. So there is that element of kind of home aspect for these players, even though they're playing from the home. That support can definitely make a difference.
Yeah, it makes me think of the good old days when I was with my mum and she would say, pause the game, it's online, I can't do it. Okay, please, just let me play my tournament.
Exactly.
So there you go. But you know what, it's all fun and banters at the end. It's just fun times and family. And of course, like you just said, you can play with your family, they can support you and everything. I know that for myself, I have a really supportive family. I think the same was you, Imperium, in the world of esports, and gaming is still a very new environment. And it's still very early, so if you might be watching this at home and be like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. I might want to try and get involved. There are many different ways to get involved in esports as a player, as a caster like me and Imperium, or just many other ways in marketing, etc., etc. So really, if this is your your first time, if this is your initiation to esports and gaming, definitely get a little bit intrigued, do research, and you might try and get yourself as a big actor of esports, because I think we need more people to make these kind of events happen. So definitely do think about joining esports and gaming. There you go. That was my advertising.
that was your
I'm the banner man of esports.
But and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? This is an NFL flag football back tournament, right? And if you're coming at this from a gaming perspective and you're viewing it as a gamer and you want to find out more about the NFL flag football, you can 100% do that. It's NFL backed. Over 500,000 youth athletes across the country 50 states represented. You know, and they're the only leagues that have official NFL gear. It's incredible work that they put out there, and there's easily, you can go on, you can find out information about the NFL Flag Football League and get involved, because it helps communities, it helps people, of course, you know, from a youth point of view, gets people out in the sunshine, obviously outside of the situation we're in right now, but it gets people involved in communities, and it's absolutely fantastic initiative that NFL are getting involved in.
I just heard the word outside. I think I never heard that word before. As a gamer, I don't know what the outside world is.
Hey.
Just going into the meme.
Don't fit the stereotype too much, Max, you know?
Exactly. Well, Imperium, seeing how things are going so far, we do have a little bit of delay on the first game. Our apologies for that, but we should be getting into the action very, very shortly. You know what? We don't know much of these. Well, we actually know nothing of these teams and these players going into this.
Yeah.
The players, exactly, going into this. So, you know what? We can only speculate on who might win just because of their IGNs. You know what? We've got Naz, we've got Brostuck. We're going to put a little bit of a friendly bet and banter over here with Imperium. Just by the name alone, which player are going to be choosing on this one? Because they got the exact same team, too. You can't be based on teams. You've got to be placed on the name. That's all we know.
Well, I'm going to go for Naz. The reason why is because it's short, sweet, and it's straight to the point. I think, like, Throwduck, yeah, it's a great name, but is it just, you know, if he lives up to the name, he could end up throwing? You know, or he might end up going Quackers.
Okay. I mean, I said you guys will... No, we prepared you guys. We said, though, there were going to be some dad jokes around here. Imperium just, you know, kicked the ball in action. We're about to kick the ball in the game actually pretty soon here, but, like, actually Imperium are off to a really good start. Very strong indeed. So, okay, thank you very much for that one, Imperium. That was a great introduction. Please don't leave. Stay with us.
Who are you going for?
I'm going to be, well, I mean, of course, I said I wanted to go for bets. I'm going to go for Throwsduck. I think it's a funny game, and at the end of the day, you know, esport gaming, it's all about having a fun time, so I'm going to say Throwsduck is going to take this one because they have the exact same team, and once again, it's going to be insane. In case you're also not too familiar with the game of Madden, it is about like a 20-minute game. You do have a few breaks left to right, so it might be a little bit longer than that, but about a 20-minute game, so 20 minutes where you've got to be focused as a player. It takes a lot of mental strength to do so. Like all the games we casted so far, like, you know, some games last maybe up to an hour, but 20 minutes is still really consistent, especially when you're focused. When you're focused on a game for 20 minutes, your mental strength is just drained extremely quickly. So it comes back to what you said earlier, right? Consistency. If you can be consistent throughout the 20 minutes of your game, no reason for you to not really win.
110%, and that's the thing, even though we're only going to have 2 games from each round per day, could have some of these competitors that, you know, if they win on the first round, they could go into that second round at, let's say, off stream straight away. If they're maybe a little bit mentally drained, you know, it might falter them coming into that round 2 game. Of course, they will get a bit of a break, but if they think they feel ready to go for round 2, but they're kind of really not in fact, you know, it could definitely fall apart. Plus, like you mentioned, we don't necessarily know too much about these players. The other players might not know much about the other players.
Exactly,
that's the thing, like, you know, I know pretty much all these players are from the NFL Flag Football League, but how much do they potentially know about themselves, about each other from a Madden game point of view?
Exactly. So I'm also just checking out on our screens. We do have then a little bit of a technical issue with the game as indeed launching. So I hope you guys are okay with that. We're just going to be joking a little bit around here with Imperium. But also do not forget that this is the first day. And once things get kicked into gear, we'll be fine. We'll be just cruising through every single game. We'll be having some other days. We're going until like the 24th. So you're going to have a lot of action coming straight up your way. So you better get nice and ready for that. That's why you said get yourself nice and comfy. If you can buy yourself a chair like EK or somewhere, definitely go and do so because you're going to need it to get through all of these games. We've got like 4 hours of broadcast happening today from like 6 to 8 games potentially coming straight up. So, and like we have so many more games again, like not even shown on broadcast. So that even shows like all of these teams once again coming, like all of these players, because no, I already said it, I'm going to call them them eventually. All of these players coming together to fight, you know, in their own way against COVID by, you know, making this online entertainment for you guys at home is still really nice. And that is what we enjoy about esport. I think I can also talk for you, Imperium, the fact that we come here together on this online event to try and create some entertaining and engaging content for you people at home. Hopefully you're having a good time, unless Imperium keeps on going with his dad jokes, but at the end, hopefully we'll all be okay. You can't even come back to that, Imperium. You know it's true.
I am insulted, sir. How dare you? How dare you? You think you would be used to my dad jokes after me and you casting together for a good 2+ years, you know? Come on. Come on, like, you know, or maybe it's like it's 2 years too much, guys. It's just 2 years too much. It's aged me in decades. But like, let's talk a bit about when you're talking about and again we know from casting other games, the mentality of going into a game like Madden football or American football. Do you want to go into that game like a bat out of hell in terms of full sending and straight out? Or do you want to pace yourself for those 20 minutes and maybe take a small step back and try to read how your opponent is playing and to read how your opponent is? Because there's always patterns, right? That's a hell of a lot to do with American football is finding out the patterns of your opponents and of course in a team-based game the enemy team, but in this case it's about your opponent. Finding out those patterns, as in, are they throwing in a certain direction, are they passing to a certain player all the time, that you can recognize that and then shut them down and then of course counterplay that.
That's exactly it, because normally in an actual game of American football, like it's a team game, so like you can't really read the minds of every single person, whereas here's just like a 1 versus 1, so definitely you can predict what's going to happen. And being unpredictable in the world of like mobile like the world of like gaming as a whole, it's really a really strong thing to have if you are really unpredictable and able to just like on a dime shift your gameplay a different direction. So definitely the player that's going to be the most unpredictable in the game of Madden is definitely going to be having a huge advantage upon his foes going into this. So hopefully we'll have a few players who will be having that little bit of an advantage going into these games, because it also makes for some entertaining gameplay also rather than just saying, oh, he goes to the right side for the 25th time in a row. So hopefully that will not be the case, and we'll have some like really nice and consistent and original gameplay going into this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Again, we've always just got to kind of compare the difference between American football and Madden, even though it's in theory the same game. Is that when you're playing American football, and because it's team-based, you also have that coach, that the leader of the team as well, that's helping to say, okay, you go here, you go there, you make this play, you make that play, you kind of shimmy around here. Whereas in Madden, you're kind of relying on yourself, and if you doubt yourself, not only are you wasting time, but you're potentially losing that ball, you're losing that play, you're just going out of the left field, so to speak, and yeah, it can amount to potentially, of course, losing the game.
That's indeed the case. But as we just take a little bit more time before kicking off this very first game of Naz versus Throws Duck, I'm going to be shifting the conversation a little bit in a different direction as we're just waiting a little bit. So I'm going to widen the subject a little bit over here, Imperium. I know about this COVID situation here, everyone, this confinement situation. What's like the thing that you like started to appreciate as you were in this confinement situation? You were like, oh man, I missed that a little bit.
It's gonna sound
going
obvious.
To the pub.
No. Just because I'm Irish. Come on. Definitely, and I know this is kind of obvious, but it's got to be getting my hair cut, man.
I got it cut today.
Because really,
hey,
it doesn't really look like it could do with another cut.
What? Okay, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. I'm leaving the broadcast right now.
But like, and don't get me wrong, I gotten a pretty short haircut just before it ended up getting harder, and of course lockdown came into play. But I'm really getting to the point where I'm like, oh man, I don't want to give myself a haircut, but desperate times might call for desperate measures. So yeah, for me, I definitely do miss being able to kind of get my hair cut. I know that sounds a little bit silly, but yeah, that's, What about yourself? Because, kind of right back at you, what's something that you kind of maybe, appreciate more since you haven't been able to do it?
Well, already have like social interaction. I know, even though we in the world of digital interaction on all social media, video games, etc. Being able to interact with people in real life is definitely a lot more enjoyable and a lot more fun. I do miss going out and having fun a little bit of time with my friends. So of course that's something that people do miss. But now as you're slowly able to go out a little bit more, as long as you wash your hands and put that mask on and be safe as you go out there, it feels nice to finally get to meet people again. And it's just something that I think a lot of people have been missing for how long has them been going on for? 3 months? It's been even more.
At times it doesn't feel like that long, but when you think about it, it's been since around March time, and of course it's going to continue until everything is fully clear, of course, depending on the country, depending on where you are located. Like you mentioned, even though things are definitely easing up in some way, you got to take that necessary precautions. Of course, wash those hands, keep yourself safe, and don't take too many risks. I think, as we start to see a little bit more freedom as well, I think people are going to start. I think people have already started to appreciate that a little bit more. And as much as nobody ever wanted this to go down, I think there is a certain level of silver lining to this, is that there is a greater appreciation overall of some.
Okay, I'm gonna let this stream then. Okay, thank you for the info.
Whatever, without going too deep as a humanity. I know I've just gone pretty deep, but you started it. I had to go there, But yeah.
Exactly. So I just got a little more information from our production crew, and we then do know that we do have a little bit of a connection issue on the player side of things. So unfortunately, we might have to, go over to another match. So it feels a little bit bad for that, but hopefully we'll be able to get some action very, very soon. Because the first matchup is Naz versus Throwstuck. We're gonna have another matchup right after that, Caden 22 versus Solar Horizon. So that's gonna be also a matchup that will be coming in the future very soon.
But we all know, and we're used to this, every player is responsible
of their own connection. Exactly.
Everybody is responsible for their own connection. It's a wording, a phrase, a sentence that we're used to hearing all the time. That's why, when you kind of said and we heard in production, honestly, I wasn't surprised. Not that I wasn't surprised, but I'm kind of like, yeah, that's to be expected. Because not everywhere has the best internet connection, which of course is a shame. But yeah, always every player responsible for their own connection. Hopefully, obviously, even if we have to move on to a different game to be shown, it would be cool if whoever has a connection issue is able to get that back sorted, so they can at least play the game offline. Because it would be a bit of shame to not be able to put in a fair running, and also even for the person who, let's say, goes through on a default, that's kind of like nobody really wants to kind of get a bye, right? You want to prove yourself, you want to justify that position in the second round. So it's a bit of a shame, but we got to deal with what we got to deal with.
Exactly, unfortunately. It seemed like we will indeed be going straight to game number 2, unfortunately. We know, I talked about that earlier, right, in the brackets, the fact that the level of gameplay is going to increase from, from round to round to round. The level of gameplay is going to get higher. When do you think about it? Technically speaking, also the Wi-Fi level of the players will increase over time, because the people with the lag, they're going to go out pretty early. So over time, the Wi-Fi connection will get stronger and stronger going into this. So also, that means the level of gameplay will get more and more even over time, because we have 200 players coming into this. It is pretty hard to have, some even equivalent gameplay styles, but of course, we're going to try our best to make it as nice and fair for the players as much as we possibly can going into this. But hopefully, I'm seeing also some stuff moving on screen, so hopefully we'll be getting ourselves into the game once again pretty shortly. I know I've been saying that for quite some time. We've been talking for 15 minutes now, but I hope you guys are having a fun time with us right now. It's more like a talk show in this early stage, which is okay with me. I mean, we're really good at talking. I mean, it's our job. So there you go. Just flexing a little bit. It's fine. It's fine.
One thing that I also absolutely love, and it's of course it's the same with most sport-based games, whether it's soccer, baseball, wrestling, even, is that because a lot of these players and the NFL flag football players, they're of a younger age, they're 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever age, they might look up to teams and stars within those teams, and I'd love to be like that. And what I love about these kind of games in Madden 20 is that you get to, at least for a brief period of time, you get to play that team you love. You get to be that quarterback that you've idolized for years, or since your parents first introduced you to that team. And of course, this is a esports competition, so you don't want that to take away from the focus. But I love that element of just being able to absorb yourself in playing the team that you love, and controlling the real life simulation player of somebody you love.
Yeah, it's just a nice way to represent those teams or players that you definitely do appreciate and just idolize in real life. So there you go. So definitely really nice. It's nice little storylines right there. Like for example, like I saw a few Madden tournaments before going into this event, and like players being like, "Why did you pick this team? I just love the player." They're not looking for stats. They're just like, "I love this team. I love this player, and I want to support it." And I think that's like something that's really nice going into this. Trying to be as it's very positive. Esports, the esports side of things, you might have a few like you call trolls if you're not too familiar with it. People that like to be a little bit weird, let's just say. But going into this, like, it's still overall a very, very positive community that tries their best to try and represent as many and good positive values as they can. And this is also what we're trying to do through this NFL flag tournament. So hopefully we'll do a good job at that and allow you guys to have a good time along the way in this time of need.
And we talked about the first place prize, right? That massive $1,000 in NFL store.
$1,000.
You kind of might think, okay, it's not, let's say, cash, but that's like think of the amount of jerseys you can get. Think about that, right? You can get because we know teams release, jerseys, every now and again, so to speak. Think about you can be like, yep, save that. I can get the new Seattle Seahawks jersey. You can get something like it's way. I think that's more valuable than, in my eyes, that's more valuable than money. I know we all love like a cash prize, but you can get something and you get that delivered and you have that and you're like, I got that from winning a tournament, and it's just something that's really kick-ass to think about and to talk about what might be potential prize for the winner.
Exactly. The winners who get themselves a jersey, you better frame that right now. Don't let it get dirty, that's for sure. That's what I personally do all the time. If I get a new jersey, frame it right away. It looks so cool to in a frame. You've got to say, Imperium, like, I know you like wearing your jersey, Imperium. Like, he's always in a jersey every single time. I think they look nice framed.
Well, that's because, see, and that's why I've never been again, not to go too far off topic, but that's why I've never been so much of let's say a comic book collector, because man, I wouldn't be able to collect, because people that collect comic books, they'll have them in the plastic sleeve and put them in a drawer or put them in collectors boxes. I couldn't do that. I'd want to just read them all the time. I get an esports jersey, man. I want to wear it. I want to represent, right? And that's the thing. I want to represent. I just spend 3 days, so many hours, whooping other players, butts in a tournament. I've got this money. I've been able to purchase my favorite team's jersey. I get to deliver it. I want to represent, because when people ask me about that, or when I'm in school next day, or when I'm in high school, or when I'm in college, I go, yeah, I won that from a tournament, from a Madden 20 tournament. I won it. My prize, my possession.
Like, just a big flex right there, just be like, look at my jersey over here, it's completely fine. So we did hear also a few seconds ago that we're going to be moving indeed 100% confirmed to the second matchup, and that's going to be Caden 22 versus Solar Horizon. So our friendly bet just gone down the drain, Imperium, of Naz versus Throws Duck. You know what? We're going to say that just for the mental state of it, I'm going to say that Throws Duck wins, because like that I win the bet, and I like that. There you go. Nothing really to add. I win. I win by default.
Excuse me?
Takes a, oh my god, okay.
Excuse me?
Can you see like that? Are you okay?
No, I can't, but excuse me. Oh, now I can see. But you know what? I will give you that victory. I will give you that hypothetical victory. So I want to know, Caden 22 and Solar Horizon. Pick.
I'm gonna say Caden 22, because I'm 22. I'm gonna go with Caden 22. There you go. Such a lucky number. Such a simple-minded person, right? That's what we must be.
Well,
thinking.
in fairness, but in genuine, I was gonna go for Solar Horizon, because
there you go. Perfect.
I picked Naz because it was kind of a simple thing. I think Solar Horizon is pretty cool. It's just like, yeah, I'm a Solar Horizon. I don't know what it really means, but it just sounds like come on, like somebody has their, I presume it's their name with 2 numbers on it. Come on, like be a little bit more creative than that.
I have 2 numbers in my name. Whoa, okay. But it seems like we're going to get into the action finally, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been taking a lot of time. We are ready to jump into our very, very first game. It's going to be, once again, Caden 22 versus Solar Horizon as the kickoff comes on through. And as we kick off, also the entirety of the NFL flag football Madden 20 tournament. Here we go.
Hell to the, as you see that play coming in through. Of course, it's going to be the first punt that has happened. And now it's going to be up to how these players pick their position and pick where they want to go. And of course, start that attack right. You got to be able to start that attack. The 1st and 10. If you can make that 10 yards in the first play, then you're really you're rolling. But you know, we'll have to wait and see.
It is. Blue side going to be pushing on the lines of the 25. Going to go for a pretty aggressive play. They're going to go for the right side. They do get shut down. Unfortunately, they even lost a little bit from that. Going back to the line of the 22. Not a big W on that one. That's more like an L, but you know what? That's still okay. That's still a really early place. So still an easily enough time to do a comeback from that move. Yeah,
Caden, who's playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Solar Horizon is playing the purple, beautiful, beautiful purple Jersey Ravens. Ooh. And see if Solar Horizon can continue on forward as the next play is coming through. 2nd and 13. Of course, lost 3 yards, but don't hesitate. Go for that run.
Whoa.
What a play. What a misturn. Go for the absolute stonker of a play and get shut down. But gotta give him credit. That great return on the second hand has massive yardage.
I really thought we were just about to get like the first touchdown on the tournament like in 40 seconds. It was that close. I've got to say, that was definitely a really nice one. He had a dot. He had like an open segment on the left side, completely open. That was a little bit poorly defended on the opposing side, so definitely got to say that was interesting. Where it is now, they're going to go for another play. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to go not for a pass this time, another rush in. But unfortunately, going dead center, not quite working out for him. So maybe you want to try and shift things up a little different gear and maybe go for a little bit of a throw to just surprise your opposing side also.
Exactly. That's where I talked about earlier on with the unpredictability. You know, maybe go for a run first one and then go for that pass, but in the end he's gone for another rush, and man, I can't help but feel that's a little bit, again, a little bit predictable.
Yep, redundant would be the word actually.
Ooh,
and
very advanced. Hey, just because it's my pick, thank you very much. Just because it's Solar Horizon, you know, don't be hating too much. I know haters gonna hate, but now see the throw comes through. It gets collected on with the tackle. What a great tackle by the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. Caden 22 at least shutting Solar Horizon down.
Back to the 1st of 10. Able to reset, and now going to play him once more. Here it is. Going to go for the play once again. No passes for the week, but unfortunately going to be cut down pretty quickly too, and actually going to be losing a few yards from that move. So definitely, I think that we were talking going into this tournament, right, that you need to try and be a little bit more, like, you know, unpredictable. And right now, predictability is almost the name of the game. What we're seeing right now, it's very consistent in terms of like just rushing through the middle.
Fair, that's fair, but that pass on the previous one did help. Now that I would agree was a little bit weak, but it's just about enough, right? Because now he's on the 3rd and 1. He only needs 1 yard to reset that. And as he's only 26 yards from that golden touchdown line, of course, time's ticking. Only got a couple of seconds as he goes for the push through. Nice shutdown coming out from Caden 22. But is the damage going to be done? Is he going to go for that kick to get those couple of points? But we'll see.
We'll see indeed. I see a pretty nice opening on the right. What he's going to commit to? Playing with Jackson. Going to go for a throw. No, he fakes it. Here it is. The rush comes out. I mean, he's been working out pretty good. He won so many yards because of it. He does push on forward. But unfortunately, he will not quite get that touchdown. He will be going down in their own camp. That was still a really good attempt, and that was a really good fake out. I was not expecting him to just rush him randomly. So really well played on this side.
It was, but of course the ball has been lost. It was caught by Caden 22. So now he's going to try and get that across the field as time ticks by.
Okay. Also, just so you people at home do know, this is indeed the Madden spectating client, so there might just be a little issues left and right. Hopefully it's going to be completely okay as we go into this, but you know what? We're going to take you through the action, and here it is. Going to try and go for a long run on the right side. There's going to be 2 players running in front of him. He will go almost out. And there you go, cut down. They're going to be on the line of the 16. Able to win a few from that, but unfortunately not on a really consistent basis.
Oh boy, oh boy. That was the end of the first.
There you go.
First and then just trying to get an idea. Of course, sometimes it's just nice to kind of take a step back and see how they decided to go for that play. That was a nice run. That was pretty damn successful. You know, overall not too much contention coming out from Solar Horizon.
Yeah, just started the second quarter right there, and as you know, this is way faster pace compared to your, your original real life kind of American football. So here's just 5 minutes per quarter, 20-minute matchup total. So a lot much faster. But here it is, going to go for potentially a fake up. And no, goes for the throw. Not really expected. He's got no one around him. Might actually just get a touchdown from this. He's running super fast. He does miss it, and he will get pushed out at the very end. What a run from him!
62 yards from Mahoney. 62 yards from Caden.
Wow.
My heart leapt out of my chest at that. What a great return in the second quarter. It's fair forward, but now he's going to go for that pass. It's going to connect on. That's going to be a touchdown. That's going to be a great start for Caden 22. You love to see it, Maxman.
First touchdown of the NFL flag tournament. Now he's going to go for a kick. Also, can he hit it? And yes, he can. I mean, it looks like it. And it did look like it was actually in the middle of it. So good job from him. Now it's going to be 7-0. And Caden 22 is going to be running off with the lead. But one touchdown away, and it could still go the opposing side. So let's see how Solar Horizon will respond to that early aggression.
I'll tell you what, this goes, because we talked about obviously the games being quicker than a full American football game. But this is whizzing by kind of quicker than I nearly expected. You know, as soon as that touchdown was scored, it went straight for the kick, and that's 7 points at the hands of Caden. And I felt that. I want to know how relieved he felt after that starter, that touchdown, that kick, 7 points ahead, but now it's going to be up for Solar Horizon to bounce back with 3.5 minutes left in this second quarter.
There you go, just a little bit of slide to the right side. Here we go. That's going to be the second. I was going to go for this one. Unfortunately, a little bit cornered up. He still goes for the throw, and it does get landed, but unfortunately it does touch the ground, so that means they do get a few yards from that. Nicely tried. And they're going to be going back to their first.
I actually really like that pass because it was a bit bold, right? You know, there was a couple of those Kansas City players in line, but at the end of the day, that was caught. Made the yardage, but now as the reset comes through, he's going to go for that run, shimmies around, dodges a couple of those players. Could that be a return, but he gets tackled, shot to the ground, just like that by Caden 22.
I'm going to call that like the Solar Horizon move right there, like the wave. You just like left and right, and just dodge a few, but after some time it is a little bit predictable because you know how he's going to turn, what his basic movement speed is going to be. So now going to go for another one. Back to a first try. Going to go straight for the right side. Dodges it. Nicely dodged on that first person. Does get a few extra yards because of that. And they're going to be on the line of the 29s. And slowly making his way closer and closer to that touchdown line. But still, he needs to make it through because we're going to be ending in just about 2 minutes the second quarter, Imperium. And he needs to try and make a comeback from this. He needs to make it back to 7-7 scenario because otherwise it's very early on. And one mistake might be the reason why you get early on eliminated from the NFL flag tournament here.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. It's single elimination. It's one game, one chance. Who's this next play? 2nd and 3. Goes for the throw. Kind of missed a little bit of what happened, but either way, it was a nice attempt coming out from Solar Eclipse. I believe it was called, but was shut down. And now, it's going to be 3rd and 3rd. 29. Let's go. He's got to try and make these 3 yards reset it. As he goes for the shimmy. So Eclipse push comes through. Gets tackled down.
There you go. Went a little bit from that still, but unfortunately, the defensive position, I got to say, from Caden 22 is pretty on point. He does know exactly how to play about it. But what I've been enjoying recently in the last 3 rounds from Solar Horizon is the fact that he's been a little bit more unpredictable. He's going for moves I'm not really expected. Look at that push through the middle. He hasn't done that for quite some time. As now we're going to have a little bit of a... okay, what's happened? Okay, there we go. We're back into action. Sorry for that, guys, for the little bit of a technical issue on our side. But still, that was a good push I do like.
Yeah, it's that Madden spectating feature. Sometimes they can throw out a couple of curveballs, but isn't that the joy of live broadcast, live TV, so to speak, as we look to try and get this Just back up and clear run with 1:15 or 1:10 to go. 16 yards. Solar can sniff it. Just better go for that shimmy. It's an open run. It's going to be a touchdown. Bounce back. You called it, Max. He had to get in that touchdown before the end of that second quarter. And by God, has he done it.
He did just that. They're going to go for the kick. They want one extra point. Not going to try for the 2 points, actually. I'm surprised on both players. They're not taking that little bit of a risk because they seem like they do like going for that risk play, but they just want to go a little bit safer once they did get that touchdown, which, you know, shows a little bit of a sign of respect. They don't want to test their opponent because even though they don't know each other, they're like, okay, this guy, he knows how to play some Madden. We're not going to mess around with him too much. As it is, the kicks happen, goes out of boundaries, and there you have it. Not going to get too much out of that, unfortunately.
Well, especially for Solar, right? There's no need for him to play that risky. I would have understood if Caden in that first touchdown if he had it, but then again, because it was the first touchdown and you kind of want to just be, okay, let's just go for that 7 points. But yeah, just a nice bounce back. But now if we can see that great pass, he shimmies around. Is there going to be another open run when he gets tackled to the ground? But once again, 139 yards, Max.
139 yards. That was huge. 3 people at the very end trying to shut him down. That's a little bit of a hard one, but look at that. Just one play away potentially from his second touchdown in the NFL flag event. Going to go for the throw. It's open-ended. But unfortunately, once again, 3 boys will be around him, and there's no way of making it through that triple defense.
And also, can I note how quickly Caden has bounced back from that loss of a touchdown right at the hands of Solar Eclipse. He's basically gone, okay, you know what? I was playing with you. I let you come into that. But no, now, no more Mr. Nice Guy, Solar. Caden's coming out to play, and he's ready to take it to you, shut you down. That was a great play. Of course, he did go from that 1 yard to 10, so he did lose. But now, it's a 2nd and goal. Let's see if he can go for it.
He already has 2 players in the touchdown zone. Can he get the pass? He's going to fake it out. He's going to make a run for it, but unfortunately, he's going to be going out of boundaries once again on the right side. Get himself closer and closer, but still not quite able to get that finishing one. And unfortunately, they're almost out of tries here.
3rd and goal. And just where it comes to a point where you might want to just kick it into goal to get those couple of points. But I feel like Caden's going to go for that touchdown. Ooh. As he shimmies across. He finds space. And once again, we're both just clicking our fingers and going, Caden, you absolutely pop it off, my friend.
I was thinking there, I was not expecting him to go on the left side. I thought he was going to go for the right side because, seeing how he positioned his attacking players, I thought he was going to actually go through that position, but he actually faked it out really nicely. No big response from Solar Horizon right there, unfortunately, and they get it done.
And you know, what I absolutely loved as well from Caden in that play was the fact that it wasn't just the fact that he went for the left. It was, you got to think that angle and that space he had in the left was really far past, and it was a bold play, and at the end of the day, like we saw, it worked out, but now it's 14-7 in the hands of Caden. Can Solar Eclipse bounce back?
Only a few seconds before the second quarter ends, so we'll have to see how they're going to play around this one. But still, we're not even halfway done with this game. It's still so action-packed, and we got like more than 200 players in this event, and this is what we're going to be having coming to you day and night. So definitely, I hope you're all having a fun time at home watching this event. Definitely, I think that we're both enjoying this Imperium. I think I can talk for both of us. This is definitely some fun gameplay coming into this, where it is. It's Jackson going to be played now by Solar Horizon. This first try out of 10.
I just love that kind of little shimmy from Caden. If you saw that when he's controlling Wilson, just to try and cause a distraction. But now it's going to be a great run, but it's going to be tackled down by Caden. It's a great length of yardage coming out from that play by Solar.
A few nice yards. I think if he was going to turn any more, he was going to go straight back to his touchdown zone. So he's definitely trying to get himself a little further into it.
What does they say, like 3 rights make a left kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Going to catch it up. Going to try and get as many yards as he possibly can. Going to get cornered by so many players there. There's no way of making it out. And he does make it down to about the middle section of the train. So definitely, I've got to say, that was a W in my books. And now they're going to try and replay back from that one in their first try.
Of course, we did drop out of the second quarter. Now we're in the third quarter. He's in control of Caden. He's already 7 points ahead. And like I said, honestly, I know I called Solar Eclipse, but Caden's looking strong. He has to get tackled by 3 of the Solar Eclipse players before he gets shut down.
Yeah, Soto Eclipse is getting, I got to say, stronger and stronger, even though he's like half point behind. Actually, Caden 22 currently in this game. I feel like he's been finding, especially on the defensive side, I think he's been able to find his groove, able to find his rhythm. It's been working out sometimes for him, but I think that just the fact that Caden 22 is just so unpredictable in his plays, it makes it really hard to set up a really good defense versus this one player. He's going to go for the right side here. Can he dodge it? He's not going to be dodging that first player. That'll be an instant cut, and he will be losing, unfortunately, his second try on this one.
Yeah, of course, he's down to 2nd and 8. 3 tackles so far. It's. I would say that what's weakening Solar is, and I know you touched upon Caden's unpredictability, but I still think Caden is weak when it comes to those defensive plays and being able to somewhat shut down Caden. That's something I hope Solar believes in, going forward. Once he gets the ball, I definitely think he's going to be dangerous. It's going to be a great tackle coming out, and that's going to use every tackle. That's great. Unfortunate fumble coming out, but yeah, it's still a great start coming around for Caden. For him, even though he's lost the ball because of that fumble, right now, Caden and Myers can just kind of sit back a little bit more and relax.
In the world of Madden, if you try and go for like a spin, which is why you're tempted, you actually increase your chances of a fumble. So spinning has its risk and reward, so you want to try and be a little bit careful around those. But here you go. Now he's going to be on his second try, and they did switch it up. So now Solar Horizon, he needs this touchdown. We're in the third quarter right now. We're still 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play with. And unfortunately, not going to gain much from that. It was on the line of the 47. And I'm hoping a more aggressive play here, but they seem like so close to each other. They really want to try and push on forward. And here it is. As I say that, they're just going to go dead center. And they get nothing. He needs to play a little bit wider. Go for those passes.
He does.
Still what Solar Horizon has yet to do, really. Just go for consistent and good passes.
Even I predicted that before it came through. The second
they're
left,
so clustered.
It is 110%. Not even really a pass coming through. Now that's going to be connected on. Great catch. 57 yards, and now he's only 28 away for that golden touchdown.
Not going to lie, I was thinking that ball was going to drop and he was going to lose it, but you know what? Good catch from them, and he does gain a lot of yards. So you know what? It does work out for him. If he does go for those throws, it is rewarding in some way, shape, or form, and he does get himself to the line of the 28 yards remaining, and here it is going to try and go for another push, and actually, I believe they just lost a few yards. Actually, line to 35. They did lose a few yards on that, unfortunately. So very unfortunate play. Hopefully he can do a little bit of a comeback, because unfortunately his tries are going to be wearing out pretty soon.
I see what you did there. Tries? I don't think
yes.
That, but,
yes, Imperium.
One and 3 quarters minute until we're going into that golden last quarter. But so I think time is running out for Solar Eclipse to get across that horizon, so to speak, and even things up. And his back is against the wall, because not only does he have to even things up, but he also has to go ahead. And that's going to be great shimmy. And honestly, I know our facial reactions are, wait, did that just happen?
Just got bamboozled. There you go. Absolutely shut down, and that's going to be a nice potential comeback from the man himself, Solar Horizon. And he's still going to go for that one extra point, kicking it between the bars. Can he hit it? Yes, that's going to be a yes indeed. Nicely done. I think that there, in my opinion, they should have took the risk, because if there's no more touchdown this entire game, we're going to be on the standings. I would have gone for the 2 point.
We talk about it often. Is I would always prefer to see somebody make a bold play that kind of high risk, high reward sometimes, because if it pays off, man, that's what makes the good people best, if that makes sense. That's all, But either way, going for the safe play will at least even things up. Once again, the ball goes over towards Caden. He's got to really push himself up forward to get onto the half of Solar, and then of course make that play, go for another touchdown. Nice throw comes out. It's going to get caught. If I'm not mistaken, it was indeed caught, and that's going to be a nice play coming out from Caden.
We're now going to be on the line of the 25, but definitely, I got to say, that was a risky one, but it did pay off, and you do want to see if the risky plays can indeed work out like that, and that was indeed the case for Caden 22. I'm going to be pushing on the left side, and they're not going to be going for a throw just yet, and here it is, did go for the throw, but unfortunately, we'll have a little bit of a hard time on the landing spot, but you know what, they still got it, and that's going to be their third try, but now they really need to go for like one big push here, because otherwise, they're going to have to give it over.
Maybe we're starting to see a bit of a mental weakness coming out from Caden, right? He's gotten into the lead 2 times in a row, right? And he's lost that lead. That's always got to affect you.
Yeah. There you go. Now they're going to be on their 4th try. It's definitely Caden having a hard time getting through the defensive position of Solar Horizon. That's what I mentioned a few minutes ago, right, Imperium? Like the fact that Solar Horizon, he is now getting more and more consistent and more comfortable in his groove of defending. And I think that he's actually reacting pretty nicely to things. Yeah. He's able to like read into Caden 22 as it is trying to make it through, but that's a big no. And that's going to be the shutdown for them. Going to be switching things up, Imperium. But yeah, you got to say, I'm really happy of the defensive position of Solar Horizon. He struggled a little bit in the early stage of like, the first quarter. But now I think he's feeling more and more comfortable. And I think that this game might actually go his way if he can just get an extra touchdown or just a few extra points in any way, shape, or form.
And I'll 100% agree with you there, Max. So back to 1st and 10, 32 yards. Nice push coming out. It's honestly, this is where Solar Clips, like, I know I picked him right at the start of the game. He'd been my pick, and I was starting to
doubt yourself.
I was starting to doubt that pick, but that's where I think the mental, strength from Caden is maybe faltering, because, like I said, he went into the lead and then he's lost it both times, and that's something that will always, affect you.
I think also just showing like the points per quarter. You saw in one quarter, second quarter, you got like 14 points going over to Caden 22. Whereas like on the second quarter and the third quarter, we had like 7 points on both quarters going over to Solar Horizon. So just showed like on the long game, seemed like Solar Horizon is a little bit more comfortable into this. But he's going to go for the right side. He's going to get shut down eventually. Oh my god, the dodge of 3 players. It does make it so much further. Will get shut down eventually. But that was a triple man dodge. Does get picked up, tries to come back. Oh my god, that was such a big loss for Horizon, actually.
Yeah.
God damn.
Still incredibly strong run attempt coming out from Solar Eclipse. And this is where, like, you just touched upon it. And I know they've lost the ball, but I still got to commend Solar Eclipse for that audacity to make that run and make that play to try and take control of this game. This is the last quarter, Max. We only got 4.5 minutes left until this game comes through, and it's even heels between these two players.
Exactly, and that's when, like, the 2-point play after the touchdown could have been rewarding, and they could be, like, an advantage, and then you just have to play defensively and focus all on the defense. But right now, none of these two players can really do that. They have to go for the final few points, because let's not forget that you can't have equality into this. You need to get the win. If you don't get the win, well, unfortunately, you're going to be going home straight away. I mean, you're already home because it's an online tournament, so no need to go home. You just stay where you are, but you're just going to, try your balls out. So there you have it. Now here it is. Going to be a little bit shut down, going to be pushed out of boundaries on that next try. Fortunately, on the line of 38 still. The clock is still ticking down, Imperium, down to 3 minutes and 35 seconds, just about. So you got to now really kick things into action, because the next touchdown might be the last.
1st and 10, 38 yards to get to the next half. And throws up back. That is an incredibly great throw. That's caught.
Whoa!
Oh my god! What the hell have we witnessed? This is only game 1 of the NFL Flag Football Madden 20 tournament. But that pass, that run, just never ceases to amaze me. What a great play from Caden. Now he's going to convert that kick. That's going to be 7 points in the lead. Is that going to be him burying his opponent? Can Solar Eclipse bounce back?
We'll have to wait and see. I definitely do think he can. He's still got 3 minutes and 10 seconds, so definitely possible for him. Let's see how much ground he can claim back after this kick. Again, through the dead center. That means a lot of players are there and just trying to fake it out. Does dodge one play, but unfortunately, it's just like he had like 5 to 6 players around it. He does gain a bit of terrain from that on the line of 21s. So definitely a big win on that one. But now he's just got a few tries to make his way through. 3 minutes. The pressure's there, and that's when like your mental strength is going to come into play. Can Solar Horizon perform under pressure? That's the question that's about to be answered here.
Might have to open up a window and get the energy of the sun, the solar energy. He's going to get shut down by Caden once again.
Caden, he's now got to play all on the defense, Imperium. If he protects it, he wins it. That's what we're going to be waiting to see. But I definitely recommend it. If Solar Horizon ever gets a touchdown, he needs to go for the 2-point play right away. And then he's just got to play defensively himself. That's all we're going to be aiming for this time around. So let's wait and see.
That was a very, very near push through that came out from Solar Eclipse. I know he plays a more direct attacking play style, right? You know, he doesn't really go for that wide flanks or wide throws with wide runs. He kind of tends to go more direct, as you're seeing right here. But that last one nearly ran through. But like we talked about, I think there's a certain level of predictability that is making it easier for Caden, especially in this situation with only 2 minutes to go in the last quarter, for him to just shut down Solar Eclipse time and time again.
Definitely, and I think that definitely now the pressure is starting to rise on these two players. Got to say, though, even though we're going to be losing one player after this game, it's going to be very interesting. Goes for the right side. Not many players there, but he's going to go straight out of bounds. Just going to be gaining, I think, just a few yards from that. But you know what? He didn't want. He was like, you know what? I don't want to get just shut down. I just want to go straight out of boundaries myself. You know what? If you're going to try and put me out of boundaries, I'm going to do it myself. You know what? I'm going to be leading the way.
Maybe his food was ready. I don't know, but like that was just.
Man, I can't put an online game on pause mode. There it is, going to be pushing on the right side once again. Hopefully he's not going to milk out of boundaries on his own. He's going to get pushed out of boundaries. Boy, if that was real, that would hurt. Right? That's the good thing of esports, right? You know what? You can see some big accidents and stuff, and be like, that's funny, because you can't hurt yourself in
Exactly. But either way, that was a great run that came in from Solar, right? He's on the half of the field. He's on Caden's half of the field. He's got 36 yards left to go before he gets that golden touchdown. But time's ticking. Time's running out.
Indeed, and as the screen says, attention. Let's calm down. Oh, okay. So now we moved out a little bit there. That is completely okay. Hopefully we'll get things kicked back into action. And we're back on the loading screen. So what we're going to be doing right now, we're going to be saying focus back on us. As we are not sure what's going to be happening there, if the game just crashed or something else like that. But that's also the issue with no live events. It does happen.
It is.
Real football can't crash like that. So I guess that's like one of the perks. But with that said, so far we've been seeing is really Solar Horizon has been able to slowly claim back some land, but it was only around 1:30 seconds remaining at the very end of those plays. Do you think he would have been able to do that, Imperium, make the comeback and get the touchdown? No,
and this is coming from the person that kind of backed him at the start. Like I said, and you point out even from the early onset, genuinely, that predictability from Solar Eclipse, it was just
falling off short.
It was really falling off short. So, at least three plays in a row, he just tried to go through the direct defense of Caden, and Caden just shut him down. It was just, nah, you ain't going anywhere.
I gotta say, Caden is focusing heavily on the defensive, right? That's all he has to really do at this stage. Just focus on the defensive, stop Solar Horizon from getting any touchdown or getting anywhere close to getting a touchdown, and definitely good. After even Solar Horizon is also enabling himself from doing so. He just put himself out of boundaries on his own. Don't know what that was about, but maybe his mom asked him to put the game on pause because that can definitely happen. Yeah, so I don't know. So you don't think the Solar Horizon can make it through? I think that Solar Horizon had some really good consistency over the first three, especially the second and third quarter, but now he's kind of falling off and really struggling to make his way through. So Caden definitely, I think that might be able to do a little bit of a spike in the last quarter, which is what he was able to do, right? Got himself an extra 7 points with that kick, with that touchdown, and we'll have to see if that is going to be enough to allow him to move to the next round, because let's not forget that we're going to be losing we had 200 players at the start of this round, right? At the end, we're going to be only having 100.
Yeah,
it's we're coming down by 50% every single time. I mean, it's efficient, I do have to say. I mean, right away, the level of gameplay is going to be increasing twice as much in the next time we're going to be having these players come back to play. So definitely, I'm really intrigued to see how their adventure is going to be, going through the entirety of the event.
So we are waiting for a ruling to come through officially from the tournament staff end, so we'll wait for that. But while we are waiting, one thing to kind of touch upon is that is just a kind of mentality of when you're coming into the end game, of how you can get a little bit tunnel visioned And when you're tunnel visioned, you don't tend not to take a step back and go, okay, maybe I should try something different and go for a dynamic play because I've got nothing to lose.
So we'll try and see a little bit what's happening. Okay. So we got like production crew now, a little ears here. We're just getting some information for you guys, trying our best to like relay that information to you guys at home. But I hope you're all having a good time, you know, watching this show so far. It's just the first game. We've got like so many more to come. So definitely you do want to like, you know, put that little link you got up there in favorite mode, just so you can straight away just click one button, come back to the broadcast, because we got like a few days of great action coming straight up ahead with all of these teams.
Yeah, so from what I tell, without it getting confirmed, I do believe the two players will play one quarter. The points difference will continue on. So even though it's going to be one quarter, it is still going to be that 21-14 lead for Caden. If Solar Eclipse in that one quarter can, of course, get 7 points or more, he will be victorious in this round one game. Otherwise, man, Caden, he only has to defend it for 5 minutes. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I wonder, are we going to replay the entire quarter?
No, it's just one. Yeah, it's one entire quarter.
We're doing one entire quarter. Okay, so that's actually going to be helping out and going in favor of Solar Horizon right there. So
for sure, and it's a rarity. Overall, it's a rarity across competitive gaming and esports in general, but sometimes it can be the case where you either have to redo a whole match or redo a certain quarter. And it is genuinely actually a benefit in football compared to other competitive gaming titles that would automatically have a full 30-minute game. And if there's an issue within that 30-minute game, you know, you have to restart it, whereas at least there is that kind of, you know, we can replay one quarter.
We're gonna play one quarter off stream, and we're gonna run the next after.
Okay. Right. So we just got some information for you guys at home. So indeed, we can confirm for a fact that now Caden22 and Solar Horizon will play one extra quarter. But unfortunately for us, that will be off stream. So we won't quite know who's going to be winning the match right away. What we're going to try our best to do is relay the information once we do know which of these two players does win. And we'll just tell you guys who's won the matchup between Caden22 and Solar Horizon.
And definitely, that's definitely a little bit
anticlimactic.
Feels Batman for me, because I wanna know, right? You know, I was feeling invested, man. I was like, you know, but you know what? It is what it is. It does what it does. We just have to kind of roll with the plays and continue on forward.
You know what? With that said, with the intense very first game of Caden22 versus Solar Horizon, I think we have we deserve a very well-deserved break right here. So what we're going to recommend you guys to do is just get yourself a little bit of relaxed time, get yourself a drink, just fill that pint again if you want to, get yourself some popcorn, get nice and comfy. Don't touch that browser. We'll be back in a few short minutes for our second game of the NFL Flag Tournament. Let's go. And welcome back. Thank you very much for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a longer than 5-minute break, but that's fine. Getting ourselves ready, getting things kicked into action. No, it's the very start of the broadcast, so trying to get everything fixed and getting absolutely on point and perfect. But yeah, we're back in Pyram. We're going to get into our second game of the day. I want to say, we've got some pretty fun names here too. We've got Hexseed and also Dem Boys for Life, which are going to be facing up against each other in the next upcoming matchup.
Yeah, of course. You know, just kind of before we talk about this game, just kind of remind you guys that the first game that we did broadcast, the last quarter, is being replayed. And once we find out and once we know the result of that, it's being replayed off stream, we will inform you guys of that update. So 100%, we haven't forgot about it because I'm sure as hell excited to know who came out on top. But either way, talking about this game, right, we know Hexiad, he won his round 1 game because this is a round 2 game. He won his round 1 game 17-0, Max. You know, that's pretty dominant.
An absolute stomp, I would even say, because don't forget that, like, normally in a actual game of football, you might actually get a little bit more points than that. But like, this is actually just in 20 minutes. You do have to think 20 minutes. 17 points so quickly, you got to say that's still a big win, and like 0 points on the opposing side, like you just mentioned, right, 17-0, that's like utter domination. So going into this matchup, he's going to have that confidence, that moral boost, which can sometimes help you out, but can also unfortunately give you really big illusions as you go into your matchup. So hopefully not going to go on the high horses. Hopefully he's just going to get into this game nice and smoothly and get some good action happening between Hexseed and also Dem Boys for Life, which I got to say, Dem Boys for Life, pretty nice name, I do have to say. I'm also like, every time we do judge who's going to be winning the matchup, and I judge who has the better name.
Always. Always, because, you know, as somebody who, you know, has an in-game name in Pyram, right? You know, and I'm proud of that name, you know, because it's what I've kind of, you know, had for a number of years and pretty much since I've been involved in esports. So I'm definitely I'm a big advocate of having a strong IGN that in some way means something to you, represents you, and I think these two IGNs are actually very, very different. Like Hexia, that's mysterious. It's kind of 3-dimensional, whereas Dem Boys for Life, hey, that's
guy.
Dem Boys for Life.
That boy, ow! There you go. A little reference for you guys there.
What's that reference from?
Okay, so there we're going to be finally moving into the game information. So there you go, game number 2 of the NFL flag event. It's going to be coming straight up, ladies and gentlemen. And look at that, it looks like it's real life. It looks like we're actually there over to the arena. We're ready to have this matchup of once again Hexseed versus Dem Boys for Life. And actually, Hexseed is going to be playing the Kansas Chiefs, and we're going to have the Ravens played by Dem Boys in this matchup.
And here's the thing, it's the same teams that the 2 players from the previous round played. So obviously the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens are pretty popular as teams, but of course it doesn't really necessarily come down to teams. It comes down to these individual players. As Dem Boys for Life gets that first push, tries to drive straight through the defense of the Hexias, Kansas City Chiefs, and gets stopped dead in his tracks.
Straight on the line of the 30s. You know what? Not too bad indeed. But here, going to have to see Hexseed and Dem Boys for Life. We're going to see who is going to be taking the moral high ground on this one. Here it is, going to be going for the pass. Go for the right side. Does avoid it, but he's going to make his way close to the boundaries, but unfortunately will get cut short, and it will still remain on the line of the 30s. Not winning anything, not losing anything, just dead center.
He actually lost a yard, in fairness. So second level. Yeah, I know, because it looked like it, but when he kind of got pushed up by Hexiad, it was just, you know, instead of trying to drive through, he kind of ended up losing that yard. But that's going to be a great return. What the hell? Open field. The Ravens, Dem Boys for Life, saying, hey, Dem Boys for Life, touchdown.
What just happened? I did not expect that. Like, you had 3 players around him, and he just like juked his way through and just straight to the touchdown line, and even gets the kick.
I would definitely love a replay of that or a clip of that.
For sure.
110%, because that's got to be one of the most surprising, but still beautiful touchdowns. And also, can I just say, within 1 minute of the first quarter, goddamn.
God damn it, indeed. Things are looking strong for him. Good start. 7 points for him. I'm going to be switching side. How will the other side respond? We'll have to wait and see. The Chiefs are going to be coming hot. Let's see how Higgsy's going to be responding. Goes for the pass on the right side, does make it through, but unfortunately it does go barely out of bounds. If that was actually not out of bounds, he might have just actually got a touchdown on this very, very first try, which actually would have been a, if you know a little bit of the Twitch chat and know references, a big pog for me.
Big pog indeed. And you know, let's not forget that Hexid, who is playing the Kansas City Chiefs, won his round 1 game 17-0. So this is the first point he's basically, first time he's been behind in this tournament, and you gotta go, is he prepared mentally for that? I know it sounds a little bit silly, right? But, you know, to go behind after winning a game 17-0, that's gonna kind of be a slap in the face of reality and go, wait, no, this isn't gonna be so easy.
Exactly, I think he might try and go for the right side. Got one player dead center. Point will be available, and he will drop down instantly. And he does get a few nice yards from there. You know what? Getting closer and closer. This might be the one move allowing the comeback of XC to get himself the touchdown. Careful, he's open on the right side. Does go for the launch and gets it done. There you go. Touchdown, baby. And that's going to be making it back with 6 points. Will he go for the kick or will he go for the extra 2?
Just one thing I absolutely loved about that play. He paused for just a split second with that quarterback and found his boy. He found that man running. He found that player just running. And it's just taking that split second to just wait, find your player, find who you want, and go for that throw. That was just, honestly, probably the best play I've seen so far.
Definitely, I do like the fact he took that into accordance, but now, unfortunately, going to be a little bit surrounded by too many players as he pushed on forward. 7-7. Now we're going to be even Stevens, as you like to say, Imperium yourself. And we've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining for this very first quarter. Still, it's early days. The players putting all of their effort into this, and hopefully they can have some really good moves coming up ahead. There it is. There's Jackson going to try and make his move. Has Wilson pretty far ahead. Does go for the launch in the dead center of the field. And will not get too much out of that. But still, you know what, able to gain a little bit of land on top of it. Yeah. So I got to say, you know, 1 yard is 1 yard. Still just a little bit closer to the touchdown line. Definitely.
And, you know, one thing to point out is that we had, you know, less than 2 minutes into the game and we've had 14 points on the board. That's definitely kind of starting things on a hot note. This was a great throw coming out from them boys for life as he does reset it back to the 1st and 10, 46-yard mark of the field as he tries to make his way, pushes in to the half of Hexia.
It's a pretty nice one, Dan. 3 players about to respond to that. That's going to be an instant shutdown. Still a pretty good pass, I'd have to say. Kicks it off and going to be getting himself a few extra yards from that line of the 34s. And might be the comeback once again. It seems like it's just like, it feels like a game of ping pong, almost like the ball going over and they just get really good pushes through and through. So now he's going to go for the push, makes it through a really big, thick defensive line, but will get shut down a few yards after that. Still, line of 23. He's been consistent. It's slow pace, but still, you got to say he's doing exactly what he has to do. That means getting closer to the touchdown line.
Definitely. You know, those have been 2 plays in a row where he's gotten pretty significant yardage in my eyes, and considering how he instantly turned on that touchdown, it's going to be absolutely pushed back, and that was just a bit of a fail throw. Nice interception coming out from my boy Hexseed in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hexseed making his way closer and closer to getting that ball for himself. But it's always very close call, so you know what, I've got to say, props to them boys to being able to keep that ball in this possession. Here it is, going to go for a push. Not going to be getting too much out of that, unfortunately. But still, like, you got to say that he is putting his work into it. He's putting a lot of backbone in his attempts, but unfortunately, about to have to give the ball over. So the next few attempts got to be the right one. You got to gain a few yards because otherwise,
plus,
you might have to give that one over pretty soon.
There's only 10 yards, 10 seconds left in the quarter, so now is going to be the time to absolutely run his way through. Goes for the pass, but it just didn't connect through, and I feel like that was just a bold move, Cotton. It just didn't pay off.
It just didn't pay off, exactly. Nice movie reference right there. Which, you know, you got way more movie references than me, Imperium. So, you know what, you'll be the movie reference guy.
Yeah, and you can see this is it, right? With 5 seconds to go, he's going for that kick. And that's just that safe play. Instead of going for that run, he's going to get those points, and now he's going to go 3 points ahead. So, nice field goal from them boys for life. And that's where you're able to be dynamic in your decision making. to get that extra couple of points ahead. So that's going to be the end of first quarter coming through. We are going to go into the second quarter. It is them boys for life playing the Baltimore Ravens on 10 points. And Hexiat on the Kansas City Chiefs with 7.
Damn. Look at that now. He's really got the pressure because even if they do have the same amount of touchdowns, unfortunately, those 3 points on top of it, they're going to make a pretty big difference. So you know what? Definitely double the effort is going to be required from Hexiat. He's going to go for a pretty long throw. Unfortunately, we'll be out of boundaries on the right side, and we'll still get a few yards out of that. Still, I've got to say, that was a pretty nice move. And I'm expecting him to try and continue making his way to the touchdown line because, of course, that's the objective of the game. So, of course, he's going to do that. I don't know why I would question that. Of course, he's going to try.
2nd and 10 now into the second quarter. 25 yards until it goes into the second half of the field. That's going to be a nice run coming through. Not so much shut down by them boys for life, more so than a little bit of a loose off his feet as he tried to shimmy his way around. But either way, that was a nice, solid run coming out from Hexiat.
Just also a quick recap to recontextualize what we're doing right now. These two players actually already had a match before this in their first round. Yeah. This is their second. You know what? 20 minutes plus 20 minutes. That's like going to be 40 minutes of gameplay at the end of this. So definitely they're going to start tiring out a little bit more because you know what? Esports is still pretty tiring. It takes a lot of mental strength to go through this. So hopefully both of the players will be A-okay going into this because after that we're going to go to round 3, round 4, and we're going to go pretty deep in this event. So the level of gameplay is already way higher going into this one compared to the first match we had earlier because like they seem a lot more consistent on their moves, which I do enjoy to see.
Yeah, totally agree. That competitiveness, that gameplay, the dynamic ability just to kind of, surprise us in a way is definitely showing up on this second game and just... Man, overall, it's a great game. I do got to point out, though, after initial flurry of points from both teams, we have kind of gone a little bit stale, so to speak. But I think that's, the teams, the players settling down and just trying to get into the swing of things.
Definitely. Now it's going to be on this third try. Where he's going to attempt. I do see a pretty nice open end on the right. Let's see if he's going to commit to it or might go for a fake. Taking his time, trying to see all the opportunities available at hand. Seeing Hill on the right, might give a try with that one. Seems like that will not be the case. Clark is going to be forward, and he does go for the throw. Nicely done. Or if he didn't get shut down there could have been potentially a touchdown. The attempt was nice, respectable, and he did go for a little bit of a risky play, but unfortunately did not go as far as he would have liked to.
But again, that just kind of ability just to slow down for even just half a second to find your man showed.
Okay, fall straight down after that short little pass. Not going to get too much out of that as of yet. Still in the second quarter, I do have to say, Imperium. We've still got more than halfway to go, indeed. So things are definitely going to get a little bit more intense as time goes by because you can really see here that Exceed is really trying his hardest to get those points to get that touchdown because otherwise if he starts falling behind right now it might be a little bit tricky as he unfortunately falls down to the ground and will not get much out of that trade-off.
3rd and 5. He's gone 2 and 5 now. He's on the 3rd and 5, so let's see as a little bit of a slowdown, just gonna try and go for that extra little time to get the job done.
Now back into action with the Kansas Chiefs. Where should I commit to? Taking his time once again. Got to say, very slow pace for XC, but you know what? It might work out. He finds a great opening. That's a great dot available. And he's going to go for the pass. That was a great amount of win from his side. And now he's making it so close, he can taste a touchdown.
I hate to, just repeat myself, but that little pause, that little play, is he going to actually be pushed back? That's just not going to work out. And honestly, that was just a great level of defense. Like he pushed that quarterback so far back that he just had nowhere to go. So as much as Hexiat had done a great amount of running, gotta give credit to them boys.
Give credit indeed. Now, where did I commit to? I see a pretty nice hole on the right side. I would commit to that personally if I was playing in his shoes. And he does go a little bit to the right, and he does connect it. And there you go, touchdown with the Kansas Chiefs from Exceed. Now he's going to see, will he go for the double point? I would say, in the situation he's in right now, you must go for the double point. But he's going to go for that one single point, try and get through the bars.
No, I think he's right, to be honest. In my eyes, he's feeling pretty damn confident.
Okay.
Hexie, he's feeling really confident. Of course, there's still quite a bit to go, right? A minute and a half left in the second quarter, so there's still at least 10 minutes left in this game. I've seen both of these competitors driven and pushed forward as...
Oh, no.
That was a little bit of a fail, I will say, but he has at least been able to recover and make a bit of a run before Hexia's defense just drives him out on this side of the field.
Just a little time, like, he knew he messed up at one point. Like, he saw 5 players on his right, so like, okay, I might not make it any further than line up the 30, so there you go, he's going to be on the 29th yard, and now going to have to push on forward. But yeah, that was a little bit of a stressful situation, as Jeff to say, for Dem Boys for Life with his Ravens. Now keeps on pushing forward, and actually the ball gets picked up by the opposing side. XC now going to be reversing this team back in his favor. And he has the ball now for himself there, and they're right next to that touchdown line. You might get another one back to back.
Well, see, if you look at what Hexia had done, he had really tackled it and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback of them boys, and then he forced that mistake to come through. But now it's going to be your turn. Goes out in the open field. But at the end of the day, what did they say? What they say, man? Hexia is feeling confident. He's turned it around. He's 4 points ahead. He's now got the ball with a minute or so left in the second quarter.
He's getting that close right now, the second quarter, 1 minute away from being over. It's a nice throw. Does unfortunately get dropped to the ground, but not going to be going any further. 4 second is going to get picked up by the opposing side, but unfortunately that will not be the case for Dem Boys for Life. I think he tried to try and retaliate and fight back after losing that ball he had earlier, so that was not be the case this time around. Where's he going to go for? I think they see a pretty nice open area on the left. Could go for dot. He's going to go for the throw. Very short, no, doesn't gain a lot from that, but he's still, you know, as I say, it's a game of yards every single time. As long as you're consistent, you're getting closer to your end goal, which is that touchdown line. And he's definitely doing so. I've got to say, Hexie is staying consistent, and despite being the fact that he's got the advantage, he's not doing really ballsy or risky moves too often. He's still staying really consistent, and he's got a very, very calm mind, which I think is definitely one big skill you need in the world of esports.
But in my eyes, you know, without, of course, being an expert, one thing that I've observed is that, in my eyes, Dem Boys is giving too much space in the center of that field, in the center of that play for Hexia to drive through, and that's something that he needs to, in my opinion, fix.
That might be indeed the case. Also, sorry if you have a few little visual glitches on the stream. We do have a little bit of an issue with the spectator client. Hopefully it's okay and doesn't alter too much the viewing experience, and I hope you're all having fun time watching this at home. Now, here was Mahomes. Gonna go for the push. Right there, he's gonna fake it there. Oh, they were trying to anticipate, and hell yeah, baby, they have it, touchdown. Again, once again, back for Exceed, and he was trying to force out the defensive position back into the touchdown line, and then when he knew he was open to just running through, he just went for it, faked it out. Really, really clean play from Exceed, and once again, those few seconds of just waiting, they pay off tremendously. Honestly,
Hexia, I would class that as just poetic.
Okay.
I've used that word before, and honestly, that was poetic, and you know, just that shimmy, just that little shimmy, just to go, ha, this is mine. 28 seconds left as a kick comes through. So the possession is going to go in the favor of Dem Boys for Life. Can he, not just for life, but in the next 2 quarters, get back into this game? He's 11 points behind. This is the biggest deficit we've seen, at least on stream games so far, and like we noted, Hex had won his round 1 game 17-0. He's used to being this far ahead, Max.
There we go. Oh my god, what a good defense coming up from XC there. Got it down right away, and yeah, he can be proud. He can emote right there. That was clean. That's just how confident XC is with his defense.
I know what. I know I can't even be seen on stream right now, but I'm dabbing for that. That was worth a dab. That was just a dabalicious. It was a dabalicious defense.
We are visible on stream, by the way.
Okay.
We can't see it. See our face while we're talking. put a little bit of a face on our voices. There you go. But I like how like you called a game all about like tackling poetic. I think it's like a really big like crossover of two different environments going into this. Here it is. Going to be getting closer and closer to the end of this second quarter. I've got the impression this second quarter has been going on for like absolute ages. Like the action-packed moves are going really, really quick. I need to have some really long quarters here. They're going to go.
They say time flies when you're having fun, but I think in this case, as the tackle comes out from Hexia, this is actually, you know, time is slowing down as we're having fun and really, you know, absorbing some great plays from overall both players as much as the deficit is showing. I do got to say that them Boys for Life is at least doing what they can to climb back into this game.
I do have to agree with that for sure. 21-10, still in favor of Exceed. Gonna have a little bit of a kick, you know. Them Boys definitely got to try and claim back those points in any way, shape, or form. So this is definitely a good way of making exactly that happen. Does connect it up to now 13, an extra few points for him. Well, yeah, perfect, absolutely on point. But that is not enough right now. He's got to put like twice more effort into this game because that back-to-back touchdown from Exceed earlier really put him pretty heavily behind. He's like 8 points behind right now, so definitely you got to give it your best attempt. And he's got going to go for the kick right now, so that means the ball is not going to be in his possession. So he's got to try and steal it some way, shape, or form.
I still think though, when you got to think about it, like coming into the third quarter, 11 points behind compared to coming into the third quarter, 8 points behind, that is still a big difference in my eyes. And if he can carry on that little bit of a momentum of being, you know, closer to getting back into it, I think that will pay off for them Boys for Life.
There you go. Well, we'll see what just happened there, but that's okay. Still going to be now kicking off our third quarter, which is nice to see. We're halfway done with this matchup. I'm going to say, like, still the level of gameplay is definitely really high. Nice to see because, as I mentioned earlier, this is their second game. They've been consistently playing for the past 40 minutes. So definitely a lot of props going over to both Exceed and Dem Boys for Life. As now, it's going to be picked up, trying to go for the long throw. Once again, is known by Exceed. He just waits. He's going to go for a little bit of a dodge on the first play, but unfortunately, he catches up really nicely. Dem Boys will put an end to that run and makes his way closer once again for that touchdown.
I feel like if he had have shimmied not so aggressively to the right, he would have been able to dodge that defense of them Boys for Life and then made another run. But either way, nice solid throw, nice solid pass, nice solid run. Is going to go for another play. Pushes through. It's going to be a tackle. Is he going to be able to drive through? No, not quite. But by God, is Hexia pushing them Boys for Life to the absolute limits.
What we saw in the second quarter, I actually thought that XT was actually going to slow the pace because he had the lead and he was just going to play mainly focused on defense. But you know what? I take that back right away. He's been actually claiming back some land pretty heavily every single time, getting yard after yard after yard. Here it is, the nice push right there, making it to the lines of the 10 yards. I got to say, that was a great play. And now, literally just one move away, one try away, and he can get himself another touchdown in this game. This might be the one, Imperium. We'll have to wait and see. He's got a lot of players potentially focused center and also on the right side. But are they going to go for fake? I think we might actually see exactly what Hexy did earlier. Just do a fake out, let them push back into their touchdown zone, and then just do a run for it.
He's waiting. Exactly now he's going to go for a run. The fake out comes through. Oh, no!
But he does do exactly that then. Now on the line of the 4 yards. If he does that once more, he just does another fake out, forces the opposing defense of Them Boys for Life in that zone. Unfortunately, there's not really much at this point that Them Boys for Life does because he struggled with that last time. Has he found a way to counter this kind of push? I don't think he has one just yet, unfortunately, because look at that on the right side. That looks like a pretty nice potential chance of getting himself a touchdown.
He's waiting.
Taking his time.
Hexia is playing with him. Now he's going to go for that play. Is it going to turn into a touchdown? He's waiting. He goes for the fake out. But got to give credit to Them Boys for Life. He had an idea that might come through, and he shut that quarterback down and pushes him back. It is still a 2nd and goal, but it's a lifeline for Them Boys for Life.
Exactly. Nice fight back from Them Boys for Life, able to claim 10 extra yards against Hexid. Now, once again, Hexid, we know it by now. He loves taking his time. Going to be sending one play over to the left side. He really wants to try and go for the instant play. He's going to go for a pass indeed, but unfortunately that pass will get denied as he makes it a little bit closer forward to the touchdown line. And he's going to be now on his 3rd try. Things are getting a little bit more blurry for Hexid to potentially take this one.
True, but here's the thing, right? He has that back pocket field goal play, which will still put him back to 11 points ahead. Because he started at that first and goal, you know, he still had those chances. So either way, of course, it's not the nicest position, but it could be a hell of a lot worse, and he still has that third try.
Picked up done by Mahomes. Once again goes for the launch, and there you go. It connects. Touchdown. Once again for Exceed. And, you know, in esport words, you would say, like, he's absolutely popping off, and he's just taking the lead dominantly.
Look at that. Doing that shimmy dance just in that celebratory manner. Not a great touchdown by Hexiad. That's going to go for that kick. Get an extra point, and that's going to drive him up to 28 points in the favor of them boys for life, who's only on 13. That's over double the lead. And with only 1 quarter left, is it too little too late for them boys for life?
I mean, we're still in the third quarter. There's still going to be one more remaining after this, so a total of 6 minutes of play. Unfortunately, not going to be able to claim too much land there. Dem boys definitely's got to put extra pressure, extra work in every single one of his rounds, because otherwise he's going to fall behind pretty heavily. And like, this is when the pressure starts to slowly over time increase. So definitely hoping that Dem boys can keep himself like just cool off and just stay really relaxed in his decision making, because right now he just rushes it all the time compared to Exceeded. Like, takes time, and I think that is something that Dem boys is lacking, is just decision making. He just rushes moves, and I think that if he took just a few, maybe just like even 2-3 seconds extra, I think he could just find better positions, better opportunities to gain those yards.
He might have to channel his inner Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and go from them boys for life to bad boys for life if he's going to get back into this. And that was a harsh kick. That was a harsh throw. It was bold, but it was just, it just wasn't paying off. And I think that's a bit of a sign of desperation from them boys for life, as we've got 30 seconds left in this quarter.
Exactly, it does seem like a sign of desperation there. He's just going to try and make his way through. 3 players will be a little bit too overwhelming for him to deal with. And now he's slowly going to be running out of tries. So definitely, you've got to make this one pay off. And I think he might go for a risky play. But if he loses this one, I don't think he can do a comeback. Like, you need to gain this. You need to get your tries back to number 1. Does get shut down. And there you have it. I think that was the playmaking move, Imperium. And I think that might actually just seal the deal for Exceed to take this game.
I can't help but feel that this is just
fourth quarter too.
Flogging a dead horse, as they say. Hexiad just looks to close out this quarter. He can cruise it like you had mentioned earlier, or you know what? He might just keep that pressure up because he wants to show that domination like he had in round 1. Could continue that momentum and put fear in the eyes of his opponents into the future rounds.
There he goes, extremely close. I mean, if he wants to like set up a precedent for himself, he wants to be like, okay, you know what, I won the second round. He does connect it over there in the distance. Not quite be the touchdown just yet, unfortunately. He's going to be going back to second try. But like, definitely, he wants to he wants 17-0 on his first round. Here, he's already 28-13. He wants to be like, he wants to install fear in his enemy's eyes as he goes to like the third round and also the fourth round. So let's see. I think he's going to go for a little bit of an interesting play. Did send one extra play on the right side. Might do a fake. I mean, that's what he likes to do. But no, he's just going to do a launch. Does gain a few yards from that, so nicely done. But I thought he was going to do a fake out. That's like how he usually likes to play around those finishing last few yards. But this time around, did switch it up a little bit. Which, like being consistent and also trying to move what your strategy you're going for is definitely interesting. And it does work out in his favor for Exceed.
That was a nice
It's stalling a little bit.
Not much. But 4-1. 1 yard is all he needs to reset it. And then, of course, go for that goal. And increase and just, just kind of, just twist, so to speak, twist a metaphorical knife into the chest of his opponent. Just say, yeah, you know what, I just put you down. It goes for the run and right through the middle like Moses separating the sea. Just goes right through the middle of his opponent and gets another touchdown. 34, make that 35 after the kick to 13 in the favor of Hexiad.
Well, I think that just even more seals the deal. We already saw that move earlier of desperation coming out from Dem Boys for Life, and I think he's just losing his cool in this one, unfortunately. Gonna have another kick coming on through. Let's see. I mean, it's still possible. You know what? It's not over until it's over. That's the cool thing about esports and the football as a whole too, as a real sport, is the fact that it doesn't matter how far behind you can still do a comeback, and we'll have to wait and see. You never know. maybe the first dark horse story of this entire tournament will be kicked off on this very second game.
I genuinely can't help but feel you're rooting for the underdog for the sake of it. I just can't. No, I'm gonna be the harsh. I'm gonna be the you be the good cop. I'll be the bad cop, so to speak. You know, I feel like that Hexiid has just done enough to close out this game.
There you go, gonna go for, oh my god, it got intercepted right there. I mean, the defense also, like, Hexiid is like consistent on both the attacking and defending side. Yeah. You gotta say, like, he's got the best of both worlds. And, I think it's just like Dem Boys for Life doesn't like really struggles to deal with how Hexiid plays just so consistently, move after move, and doing different plays every single time, going for fake outs, going for long shots, going for short shots too. So it's gonna go for the push, but unfortunately, as you like to call it, Imperium, the shimmy is not gonna work out this time.
I still gotta, you know, you of course gotta give a huge amount of respect to Dem Boys for Life, right? You know I've been a bit harsh in terms of he's not going to get back into it, but, you know, he's not giving up. In the words of Rick Astley, never going to give you up. Never going to let you down.
Never going to turn around and... Yeah, they're going to... Oh my god, I knew, but I thought we were going to stop at the very first double sentence, so... No, it feels bad. I did learn the lyrics just for you, by the way, Imperium. Like, we have a history of, like, singing songs and casting. It's a little bit weird, but you know what? That's fine. We're weird anyways. Get into this now. 2 minutes remaining, Imperium. This is the last final line. And we're about to see, can Dem Boys make it happen? I mean, you know... like more than double points over to Hexiid. I think this is going to be a hard one. Does get a pretty nice pass, but unfortunately the defense once again of Hexiid is so good. He responds so quickly and swiftly to everything Dem Boys attempts. And Dem Boys need to try and find a plan right now. He's got 1 minute and 30 seconds to do so. And he, oh, Jesus Christ. He was going back to his touchdown line. He's like, okay, I'm going home. There you go.
Feels bad, man. Like, I still got to give credit because on that last play, he was on 2nd and 15 and he reset that. So that was a really nice play, you know, initially, previously, but then, of course, the last play is on the second down right now. That's going to be a nice connection. That's going to be a touchdown. And maybe you're right. Maybe we are seeing the redemption run. I know it's a minute and a half, but I tell you what, stranger things have happened, Max.
Indeed, and I think he was going to go, yeah, he's going to go for the 2 points, exactly what I thought. That makes a lot of sense. He needs to get every single try and every single point he can potentially get for him side. There it is, going to go for the, oh no, he misses the opportunity. Yeah. No, that was like going to be a potentially game-changing point if he was able to just like get move after move, but yeah, he had to secure that. There was like, now is making it even harder for him to do that comeback that we just mentioned.
Still, once again, I'm always going to respect the fact that he went for that 2-pointer right. Still, always going to respect that.
Exactly. For now, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, things are going to get a little bit more bright along the way. But 1 minute, 30 seconds. Clouds are starting to set over the field. And I think that Dem Boys knows it and might be losing a little bit of grip into this. But you know what? Still want to have some good action until the very end. And he's going to go for a throw on the right side. That's actually a really good throw. I'm not sure what's happening. He's going to go for the touchdown. And there you go. He connects it. And he's just going to be just juggling at the very end there. Nicely done. Touchdown back over to Hexiid. And as he said, he wants to set a precedent for himself. He wants to put fear in the eyes of his enemies as he goes over to the 3rd round and to the 4th round. That was a great play.
Man, you know what? I think I think with this game, what sums it up is the better player won. You know, as in, I feel like any other opponent, so to speak, in the early couple of rounds, then Boys for Life would have won. But Hexiid, he's going on my list of dangerous players to watch.
Definitely, I think that he is going to be one contender for the entirety of the event for sure. Because it's just like a walk in the park in the early stage for him. So he's definitely looking really consistent. And now, 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining for this last quarter. And things are looking pretty dandy for the Hexiid player with his Kansas Chiefs. If you guys are supporting Kansas Chiefs in the chat, let's go. Spam the names. Always like to know which teams you guys are supporting. Okay, nice throw. Ooh, unfortunately, really good response once again from Hexiid. But you know what? I think it's a little bit too late, but he's starting to get some interesting moves through. He's getting closer and closer. I think if he started like this from the start, things could have got a lot more interesting for them boys.
That nice little bit of a shimmy, and that's why I kind of say I can't but feel like sum up that this is simply a better player won. Because as much as them Boys for Life is doing a great job of trying to get back into it, Hexiad is just he's kind of overall unstoppable right now.
An absolute massacre we're seeing so far. Unfortunately, yeah, the Ravens will have to go home for now. I mean, we'll see the Ravens again, but unfortunately not them boys.
Sure.
So there you go. Going to go for the right side push, going to put himself out of boundaries himself. You know what? Doesn't want to bruise his players too much. He wants to keep them in pristine condition.
20 seconds left on the clock. It's the last quarter. It's a simple closeout. Of course, them Boys for Life will want to at least end on a high note, but that ball is intercepted. And if that doesn't sum up how this game is gone, I don't know what does. Interception. Hexiad. 15 seconds on the clock. 42-19.
You know what? Hexiad, he could play it like he could play the time here. No Exceed, I'm pretty sure he won't. I'm pretty sure he's want to try and get as many points as he possibly can just to once again flex on his foes, show guys you don't want to mess with me. In the last 20 seconds, I did a good play. I made things happen, but now 10 seconds. Can we see a final touchdown coming out from Exceed?
Take no prisoner seems to be the mentality from Exceed in this game. It was also in the round one where he won 17-0. This game, he at least caught the ball, but honestly, that is just 5 seconds on the clock. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy for Exceed.
I mean, if he ever comes back like all of that in 5 seconds, I'll be like, what? It's not even possible. You got to walk at the speed of light at that stage. But there you go. That's going to be the game going over indeed in favor of Exceed, and he will be taking this first match of this second round. So that means he's going to be going over to round 3. And he's getting closer and closer to that top position because, once again, let's not forget what these players are fighting for. They're fighting for $1,000 worth of NFL scores in the shop. They can buy themselves jerseys, a bunch of like nicer loot for themselves to get some extra swag. So definitely some really good prize to aim for. We talked about it in the start of the broadcast. It's a good way for also supporting your favorite NFL team. Get into this, but here you go. The final play is going to be coming out. Will you play time or maybe just get an insane touchdown in the remaining last few seconds? I don't think that'll be the case. He's going to go for a long throw. Can it connect? Actually does get it almost, but unfortunately, that will not be going down for him. But still, absolute massacre going over for Exceed as he completely shreds this second game for himself. 17-0, and now he takes this game against them boys, and it looks so easy. I mean, Hexy definitely a big contender.
Yeah, like, you know, it's... Well, what can you say? You know, it's... Them Boys for Life put up a strong showing. He bounced back, took a couple of risks along the way, and I think Hexia just had too much power, and that level of shutdown from Hexia was some of the most impressive I've seen in even across esports.
Mm-hmm. I do like the fact that like Exy was trying to be unpredictable. But, like, now that I think back on this game, I'm thinking Hexine, one of his weaknesses, I think I found what it might be on the long term.
Okay.
Is you can see patterns in what he does. He plays like once he finds himself in a specific scenario, he's going to react to it a pretty similar way. So I think like he tried to do some fake outs as he was trying to like just force out the defensive position of them boys back into their touchdown segment. And I think that is something you can actually abuse. And if the players, because like before this tournament, there's no antecedent for these players, right? You don't know how they play. But now that we had one of his games of Exceed actually on broadcast, people are going to potentially like watch this match and be like, okay, that's how Exceed plays. That's his pattern of gameplay. This is how I can have a game plan and respond to Exceed. So now that you actually have this on stream, you know, some players might try and use that to their advantage. That is a tool that these players can use.
Of course. I couldn't have said that better myself. Of course, always. We've spoken about it time and time again from a tournament point of view, and you gotta be able to prepare. You gotta be able to learn about your opponent and be able to counter him, whether it's a single player or whether it's a team-based game.
You know, we talked about the fact that these players, they're fighting for, you know, like some NFL cash prize tokens to use in the shop. You can also fight for the top 3 teams with a free esports coaching session on all of these different games. Of course, we've got Madden 20 because that's what we're casting right now, Madden 20. NBA 2K, League of Legends, Fortnite, if you guys heard of that little game. It's slowly coming up. Clash Royale, Super Smash, Overwatch, and many more are covered indeed by the Metro Esports organization to allow you guys to get better at the game and also out of game with your attitude, with your overall environment in esports and gaming. So definitely some really good prizes. I might need a little bit because I'm somewhat of a noob, But I think that we would maybe both need it Imperium. You know what? We're both in the same boat there.
And you know what? It's could also kick off a career in esports. Who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. But with that said, GG well play once again to Hixie taking the win above Dem Boys for life. We'll be back in a few short minutes for our next game. That's going to be game number 3. So stick around for that. Get yourself nice and comfy. Don't touch that browser. We'll know if you do. See you later.
MGJ Production.
Welcome back, everybody. We do humbly apologize about any delays that we are facing due to some unforeseen technical issues that has gone beyond our control. We will be ending the broadcast and the stream early for today, but do not worry, because we promise, my hand on heart, my hand on beard, that we will be back for some more incredible Madden football action tomorrow. I'd like to think that, hey, look, you know, a couple of hitches, a little bit of technical difficulties, it won't stop this tournament going on. It won't stop us crowning an incredibly well-deserved champion. And on that note, same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. EST. We'll see you guys then.